All right, let's jump right in. Today we're going to break down a pretty radical and, frankly, fascinating political ideology called Greytalitarism. It all comes from the book Code Grey, Politics. And let me tell you, this is not just another ism. This is a proposal to completely reboot the way the entire world is run. So, you ready? Let's get into it.
So, here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll look at the book's diagnosis of what it calls the universal mold, basically what's broken with the world. Then we'll get into the wild solution, a total system replacement. From there, we'll uncover the single idea that drives it all, the rule of the proficient. Then we'll see the actual blueprint, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with a pretty provocative question.
Okay, first things first. To really get our heads around Greytalitarism, you have to understand the massive problem it claims it's here to solve. And the book kicks off with a pretty sweeping diagnosis of the modern world. This quote right here, it's the key to their whole argument. You know, we tend to think of all the countries in the world as being fundamentally different. France, Japan, the US, Brazil, all unique. But Code Grey Politics basically says, nope, that's just an illusion. It argues that we're all living in the same country, just copied and pasted over and over with different flags. And what does this single, repeated nation look like? Well, according to the book, it's a template for failure. Every country has the same 3 branches of government that just create gridlock. They all have 2 legislative chambers that just seem to pump out more laws without solving anything. Presidents come and go, but the job itself doesn't really change. And then you have the endless bureaucracy and the super slow court systems. You see the pattern here? The book's central claim is that this isn't just one country's problem, it's a flaw in the basic design of the modern state itself.
So, if the entire global system is running on the same piece of busted software, what do? Well, you don't just try to install a patch. This is where Greytalitarism comes in, with its central proposal, a complete and total system replacement.
And this is the part that is absolutely crucial to understand. Greytalitarism has zero interest in reform. It's not trying to get a seat at the table, it wants to flip the whole table over. It presents itself as a full shutdown, a Control-Alt-Delete for the entire planet's political structure. It wants to end what it calls the old game once and for all. This comparison really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have traditional politics. You know, trying to fix the rusty parts, argue for a new party, just add another voice to the same old song. But Greytalitarism is on the other side. It's basically saying, stop trying to fix the car, we need to build a rocket ship. It's not a variation of the existing order, it's designed to be its definitive replacement.
All right, so if you're going to tear everything down and start from scratch, what do you build in its place? What's the one big idea, the guiding light for this whole new world? This brings us to the very heart of the ideology. The book argues that every political system, no matter how complex it seems, can be boiled down to one fundamental idea, one core premise. They call it an axiom. And this one idea is like the system's DNA. It determines absolutely everything: who's in charge, where the money goes, what society values most.
And here it is. This is the DNA of Greytalitarism. It's not about who your parents are. It's not about equality of outcome. And it's not even about individual liberty above all else. The single guiding principle is that the most capable person gets the top spot. The most intelligent, just, and productive individual should have the power. Period. Every single policy we're about to look at flows directly from this one simple, powerful idea.
Okay, so that's the theory. Rule by the most proficient. But what does a country actually built on that idea look like? Well, this is where we get into the nuts and bolts of the blueprint. And you might want to buckle up for this part.
First off, and this is a huge one, no more taxes. I'm serious. No income tax, no sales tax, no corporate tax, nothing. The thinking here is to completely unleash the productive people in society and let them create value without the state taking a cut.
Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, if there are no taxes, how does the government pay for anything? Well, here's the other side of that coin, and it's just as radical. The end of private inheritance. When a person dies, their accumulated wealth doesn't go to their family, it gets absorbed by the state. The state then uses that capital to fund itself and reinvest in society. The goal is to break the cycle of inherited power and wealth for good.
Next up, a radical diet for the legal system. Instead of the tens of thousands of confusing laws we have now, the entire legal code is capped at a maximum of 1,000 laws. That's it. The goal is to make the system so simple and clear that any average citizen can understand it, which would theoretically eliminate all the loopholes and legal chaos that benefit the corrupt.
The court system gets streamlined too. No more trials dragging on for years.
Instead, you have a simple, three-step digital process: accusation, review, and defense. The goal is to get a final verdict in days, not decades. And get this, the entire justice system is funded by the people who are convicted of crimes, not the public.
So how does all this work? Well, the foundation for the entire state is technology. We're talking about a fully digital government, digital money, digital courts, unhackable digital voting, even replacing physical state schools with digital education platforms. The idea is to basically automate bureaucracy out of existence and run the state like a single hyper-efficient piece of software.
And at the very top of this efficient machine, there is no separation of powers, no president, Congress, and Supreme Court fighting each other. Instead, all authority is unified under a single leader, elected by the people, called the National Engineer. This person has the ultimate responsibility and the final say, a design meant to eliminate gridlock and ensure decisive action.
Whew. Okay, so we've seen the diagnosis, the radical proposal, the core axiom, and the wild blueprint for this new society. So what does it all add up to? Let's get to the final takeaway. At its core, Greytalitarism is an all-out war on inefficiency. It's an attempt to engineer a society that is as logical, precise, and functional as a Swiss watch. The whole system is designed to hunt down and eliminate waste, corruption, and bureaucracy at every single level, aiming for a state that just works flawlessly.
And this, of course, leads us to the giant looming question that this ideology leaves us with. Is this a blueprint for the most efficient, just, and logical society imaginable? A world truly run by the best and brightest? Or, in its relentless pursuit of perfection, does it create a system of total, inescapable, centralized control? Is it a perfect machine or a perfect cage? That's the question I'll leave you with. Thanks for joining us.